welcome everyone. So glad to see you and to have you here to celebrate this auspicious occasion. Olga Ziminska is going to publish her first book so soon, and I am so thrilled for her. She is such a dear friend of mine, and I have the honor and the privilege of interviewing her so that she can tell the whole world just everything that she wants to say about Little Wing and her upcoming series. And maybe we'll even get a little sneak peek at what she might be working on in the future if she wants to talk about it. This is a very safe space, a very open space. We're going to talk about some things. And if you have questions, you're welcome to put them in the comments. I don't know how many we're going to have. I'll do my best to catch them and to try to integrate those into my questions as well. But certainly if you have any other questions, Olga is very open to answering questions. You can watch her Dobbs every day and get an update on her writing and what's going on in her world. So make sure that you follow her on all of her socials or, here especially and get those daily updates. But we're going to talk to her about her debut novel that is coming August 11th. It is going to be on all sorts of platforms. We'll get all the details here. So let's start out with a little introduction from you, Olga, and just tell people, who is Olga Ziminska?
Absolutely. Well, Brooklyn, thank you so much for reaching out and wanting to do this with me. I'm one of those people that I'm like, oh, I'll just kind of be on the side. I love supporting everyone else, so this is a kind of different seat that I'm taking today. But hi, I'm Olga Ziminska. I am a soon-to-be published indie author, and I'm so excited about that. I live in Illinois, and I'm originally from Poland, so I am bilingual, and I've been writing for a very long time. I've written blogs, I've written fan fiction, I've written little comics. I'm not an artist by any means, but I tried. And I've written a manuscript before that I shelved just because life happened, and I just wasn't at an age where I was ready to pursue publishing. And we're kind of in this different phase of my life right now that just feels like it's the time. So I have been on Book Talk since March of last year. So it's been a little over a year now, and I started off as a book talker, and it's all of this wonderful indie community that opened my eyes to, wow, I think I can do this now. I don't understand what's stopping me anymore. So that's kind of where things picked up, and I started doing my Dobbs daily, and now my Dobbs just always include a writing update now. So Brooklyn's absolutely right. If you want to know anything every single day what I'm doing, there's always a writing update of some sort, no matter how small.
And they're not small. I mean, really, they're not small. There's things going on in Olga's world. You're going to want to know about them. So, keep up. And then there's also her newsletter. Then we'll talk some more about different ways you can hop on the train and make sure you know what's going on. But things are happening. So, there's updates every day. I love your Dobbs. They're fantastic.
Thank you.
Have to watch them every day or I feel like I've missed something in my day. There are times it's new and I'm like, what's going on? I have to watch this. So I have to know what's going on in Olga's world. It's just a thing. So you talked about being a book talker. Is that what led you back to writing, or was there something else that led you back into the world of not just reading, but also writing?
Well, kind of to start off with the reading aspect is I feel like so many of us have kind of hit a wall when it came to reading. We did the whole school thing. We had our assigned reading. We found some authors that we liked, and then I don't know what happened. Life happened maybe. For me, I grew up reading a lot of books like A Series of Unfortunate Events, the Ellen Hopkins book, which are not very happy books. They're not. And I don't know what happened, but one day my friend is like, hey, I found this romance novel and it's really good. And in my head, for the longest time, when I thought of romance, I thought like Harlequin, where like your grandma's books off in the corner somewhere. And I'm thinking, I don't know, but let's check it out. And for me, the gateway back into this was the Talia Hibbert Brown Sisters trilogy, where it's this modern and diverse story about these women and the romances that they have. And 174 books later of last year, I just devoured everything. And what got me back into writing was at the start of last year, I actually finished my legacy project. So, for anyone watching, or if you've known me, about 13 years ago, I wrote a legacy, which is a Sims 3 challenge where you have your Sims populate the area, and I started seeing a story. And like so many others in the Sims 3 community, we started writing and creating stories and these fandoms, and people really liked them. And I completed that project, and it was 13 years in the making. I've been writing it since I was in high school. And when I finished it, I just said, well, what do I do now? I really miss it. I really love the drive to update people. And I did it very quietly when I finished it. So a lot of people I had not heard from in a really, really long time, who now have gotten married and have kids of their own, were like, I remember reading this. I am so happy that this came up again. And it's that feeling of connecting with people and people connecting with your characters that made me realize I need to find a way to get back into this. And book talk, reading so much more, one, it just fueled my soul. It was like therapy for me. It allowed me to step away somewhere else where there's happily ever afters that are guaranteed around every corner, no matter how tough it is getting there. But it is just so much fun. And I I owe a lot to the indie author community here on Book Talk, because what you guys are doing is absolutely incredible. And I see so many stories that I'm just like, why is no one shouting about this story from the rooftops? It's amazing. And realizing that you have all this control to really tell the story how you want to tell it, that sold me. Because for the longest time, when I had my first manuscript, which we can talk about a little bit later, it made me realize I thought the only way to getting a book out there was going traditional. You have to query, you have to face all those rejections. Not that I have any problem with dealing with any of that. However, I just wanted to tell a story and I want to do it now. So I love that. And absolutely, the doing the spotlights, I've gotten to know so many of you. I'm always going to remind Brittany, shout out to Brits in the Library, for sending me a DM one day saying, hey, I did this indie post and I was really hoping to get a couple of people, but I got a lot more. And fun fact, our updated list is up to over 500 indie authors who have signed up since my last post. So we'll be busy for a bit. But yeah, that's kind of what brought me back into it and inspired me to sit down. In April, I sat down and I didn't talk about it very much, but it was just very inquiries I was making on my page, like, hey, would you read a book like this? Or just kind of getting a feel for it, because I didn't know what people were really looking for. But to me, I was going to write the story regardless if people wanted it or not.
That's amazing. And I think that's part of what makes your presentation of your things just so natural. And I have a story. It's out here. If you're interested, great. And if you're not, that's okay too. But there's so many great stories out there. I'm throwing mine into the ring. And if you want to read mine, here it is. And I think that no pressure kind of thing is appealing to readers, to not feel like, oh, there's another book being pushed in my face. And it's always hard with, as an indie, to figure out how to market and you're just authentically you. Like every post that you make and everything that you do, it's just you, and you're just connecting with people, and the people that want to connect with you love your story. And it's so fun to watch. You've been just
Oh,
blossoming as a young baby indie author, and it's been so
thank
fun to
you.
watch.
It's been a pleasure, really.
It has been, and it's fun to watch, others and how they're doing things and connecting with the community. So you certainly have done so much for us, and also, it's that's part of why I want to give back. I mean, certainly, but also because you're just such an amazing author and friend, and I just want to help out however I can.
You are a treasure, Brooklyn. That's like, let's make that very clear. Brooklyn is amazing. We've been on a streak on TikTok for over a year now, and I'm
Here.
so happy. The whole celebration.
Yeah. And I'll just keep sending you post-its. How about that?
Please, please do. I love them. I still have the very first one you told me. So, fun fact, when I was first writing Little Wing and going through my first draft, Brooklyn and I had a lot of phone calls, just talking about writing, just talking about our lives and getting to know each other. It was wonderful. And one day she said, "You know what? I want you to take out a post-it and I want you to write, Brooklyn says you can do it." I have that post-it on my monitor to this day. None of the post-its that I've ever gotten from Brooklyn have been removed. They're everywhere.
Oh, that's so fun. I'm so
Absolutely.
glad I can help.
Of course. Thank you. Thank you.
So tell us about Little Wing. Give us just an overview. It doesn't have to be, you can read the blurb if you want, but
Sure.
tell us all about it.
So, Little Wing is a contemporary paranormal romance. It is book one of three, so yes, it is a trilogy. It was not always supposed to be that way, but stuff happens. So, it's a love story between two vampires. It's set in the town of Fairhaven in Washington, which is actually a real place. Was that the original intention? No, but there's a funny story about that too. So, this is a story about a 300-year-old vampire named Lotus, and she's on the run from her past. She ends up in this town, and she's really just wanting to be normal. She doesn't want to be on the radar for humans. She doesn't want to be on the radar for vampires. The fun part about this trilogy is that it takes place about a century, almost a century after the Project Unity treaties are signed, which are treaties that allow humans and vampires to coexist. So the way that I would describe this is if you go outside and you see a vampire walking a dog, it's totally normal. It's nothing out of the ordinary. And this is set in a time where a lot of these treaties have already been established and it's worldwide. Humans and vampires are coexisting, and that's just kind of the base understanding of where we're at. It does not play a huge role into the events of this book. It's just kind of in the background for you to know where we're at. So we have Miss Lotus, who is our FMC, and she's very, very special to me, which we can also get into. But we have our FMC, who is Silas Clark, and he is also a 300-year-old vampire. His upbringing is very different than Lotus had, and he doesn't care. He loves being a vampire. He loves his family. He loves the community. He sees so much potential for this group of people. So much so that he wants to open up a community center for vampires to help new vampires, recently turned vampires, have their resources to get their synthetic blood, get their donations, and basically give them the right steps to have a very fulfilling life. Because when you are so used to, let's say you're a vampire who's, I don't know, 700 years old, all of a sudden, all these years of hiding and just scurrying around, you can go out. You can hold down a job. You can go to vampire only restaurants. You can live. And that's part of where this universe is kind of placed. So two very different vampires coming together, and there's a little bit of a little conflict that happens there. But overall, it is a story about healing from trauma and beautiful found family, and of course, some delicious plot driven spice, which, of course, because it's a romance, you gotta have a little bit. So that's kind of where we're at it in Little Wing, and There is a happily ever after. There is a good ending, I promise. There's a little bit of tension. There is some drama. There are some content warnings as well. And I do have all those listed on my author website as well. So any additional information that we may not be covering in here is included on my author on my author website. All of those links are in my bio.
It's so fun. I want to start with Fairhaven. You said that there's some things that changed. So tell us what happened with your location.
So funny thing. Originally, I was writing just as a small town, and there were very key things that I wanted. It had to have a bookshop, and there have to be cobblestone paths. That's very specific to something that Lotus likes and I like myself. Last year, I visited Salem and Boston. And Boston, if you've ever visited, there's so much history. It's so old, but the thing that I love the most is I'm like, ooh, those are cobblestone streets. I like that. I like the way that my shoes are tapping on that, and I just really like it. And so I was shaping this town of what it would look like in my head, but Olga, you're talking about Boston. Didn't you say Washington? Well, yeah, actually. So originally when I was writing this, I just tried to put in a town name. I'm like, Greystones, okay. And then I brought it up to my friend and she's like, oh, that's a place in Ireland. I'm like, oh, that's not what I'm going for. So it's definitely set in the United States. So I wanted that feel. And Washington, I think, is the perfect place for vampires. I don't know, maybe it's my Twilight days or something, but part of it. And the reason I didn't want to do Forks, obviously, and I didn't want to do Seattle. I feel like Seattle's a little bit too busy for a place for Lotus to end up. So I did a little bit of Google satellite searches around Washington, and I stumbled across the town of Fairhaven, which is in the city of Bellingham. And there were cobblestone streets. And mind you, this was solidified after I had written the book, basically. I was getting closer to the 75% mark. I'm like, I don't think Greystones is it. And then I found Fairhaven. And funny enough, there is a local bar that is very similar in terms of how it looks to the bar that is featured in the story. It's called the Royal Nomad. No, the Royal Nomad does not exist in Fairhaven. That is completely my own. But when I looked for just satellite views of places, I'm like, that's it. That's 100% it. That's exactly how I imagined it. And thank you. And the other part was a bookshop. So there is no bookshop that I saw there. However, what they did have, there is a place called the Black Cat. And in Little Wing, there is a bookshop where Lotus works called the Black Cat Scribes. Mm-hmm. So the moment I saw that, I'm like, well, that was fate. Fairhaven it is. This is going to be our location for this series. So that's kind of how we came about it, is me doing a bunch of Google satellite searches and saying, cobblestones, there you go. So that's kind of how we came about with Fairhaven being the location for Little Wing.
Oh, that's so fun. And it's wonderful hearing about the process. For anyone who has joined us, thank you for being here. We're so glad to have you. We're talking with Olga about her new release that's coming on August 11th, Little Wing. And we just talked about our location. I saw there was a question, and it was a question I have too. So your main characters are vampires, right? How did you come about the decision for your first debut novel to be about vampires?
So this goes back to my legacy writing days. Lotus is a character that's been around for 13 years. It's going to be 14 in September. That's when her birthday is. And she was first featured in my legacy around Generation 7, 13 years ago. And it's one of those when I was writing that blog that I had so many characters, and Lotus just kind of showed up. She was the twin sister of a character named Luca, and yes, he is absolutely in this book, and the story is very similar. Lotus was a very special character to me because for anyone who is writing out there, I'm sure you kind of get that like, hey, I have a story to tell. I'm like, what on earth are you? Hello? It's your characters talking to you. And the more I wrote about Lotus, the more I actually like watched her character in the Sims game. I'm like, oh, you sad little creature. I want to write about you. So when characters like that I worked with and saw that they had more to say, I actually started writing side stories for them. So Lotus had her first appearance in a side story called A Woeful Lotus, and it was her story where she's at presently, her past, which is actually touched upon in this book. It's very similar. So her lore is pretty much set in stone. However, the original outline of that side story was a lot more sad. So when I sat down and said, I want to write a novel and I want it to have romance, and I want it to be not a contemporary romance, I want something fun. Vampires, of course. So I decided that this was my gift to Lotus as the character for putting her through so much stuff to give her a happily ever after, to give her that happy ending that she really deserves. So that's why she ended up being my FMC. Silas, completely new. He's very different now than he was at the very start, I'll tell you that much. But the reason they're both vampires, because a lot of the time we are going to be seeing stories where it's the human with a vampire who's been waiting for this person to show up. I'm like, no, they're both 300 years old. They've all, they've dealt with their own problems getting to where they needed to be. And there's these two vampires who find each other, learn about each other, and really just hold on to each other for their own happily ever after.
That's so fun. It's just so fun. I was lucky enough to be an ARC reader, so I have read this. I'm going to ask a few questions that are a little more in depth, but it just fits. I mean, everything just fits. So you don't necessarily feel like you're reading a vampire romance the entire time because they're people too. They have those people qualities that make you just want to know more about them. So did you know kind of how you wanted Lotus to develop as you went through? Or are you more of the person who writes and then they develop as you write? Was there much planning with Lotus and her character arc?
It's a little bit of both. I feel it was very different writing her because I already knew her so well, but there were different bits and pieces of her that have come out in writing Little Wing where she starts out very timid. She really does not want to be seen. Something to point out is she does stand out because she wears makeup that does not match her complexion, and that is just part of something that's instilled by her brother into her being, that the only way that you're not going to be destroyed by the humans, that people that hate us, is if you don't stand out so much. She has black hair, red eyes, and hella pale skin. So she wears a foundation that doesn't quite match. It kind of looks like if you had a sunburn and you just had the wrong foundation. So she covers her eyes with blue contact lenses and just really tries to glide under the radar, but she stands out. It's bad. It's not that good. So yeah, it's fascinating. So that is original to her character. When I first wrote her all those years ago, it was very peculiar. I'm like, why does she look like that? Oh, okay. So you find out a little bit more about that, but she has changed. And I think the really fun part about this is seeing her stand up for herself, seeing her open up and open her heart and give herself a chance to feel happy and not feel the need to hide, which speaks to me as I don't know, a woman being authentically you and what that means to you after everything you've been through, to feel safe to do that. And because this is a series, I'm just going to throw this out there. Lotus and Silas are involved from the start all the way to the end, and Lotus's evolution is continuing because she's 300 years old. She's had centuries worth of trauma. It's not going to go away in the span of a 300 something page book. It's not. And that's something that is brought into this story. So that's kind of where we're at in that direction.
Well, that's fun. And sometimes there's a lot of planning that goes into the beginning, and sometimes it's fun to just watch them evolve and see how things come, as, watching that they do evolve, making sure that they do. But how about Silas? I mean, was he planned about how he was going to change? Because, I mean, he's a different guy at the beginning than the end. There's absolutely no doubt. And
Oh
a little
no,
bit of
yeah.
a cad, and, you know.
He's something. Um, he he required more planning because breaking down this person who is so sure of himself,
Mhm.
and he sees someone who's not who he expects them to be, and it irks him. It's one of those where it's like it was a crap day, and then he sees this person, he's like, what the heck is this? Like, what on earth? Am I being punked? Um, when you get to reading the book, you'll see a lot of this back and forth where he's trying to push something that really isn't there, but he's one of those people. It was important for me for him not to be very like alpha. He knows when he's wrong and he will apologize. But when you are on his side, if he has his eye on you, then let me tell you, he will do his absolute best to make sure nothing bad ever happens to you. Does he succeed? You'll see. He tries, he really does. And I think that's what's important. I wanted him to have his own conflict and wondering about Lotus, but not in a way that's like, oh my gosh, I need to have her. Like, she's a puzzle. Like, I want to see her more because I'm just so confused. Like, who is this lady and why is she like this? So he has his eye on her in a way to get to know her, but the more he learns about her, that's kind of when the changes in his character toward her start happening. And it's one of my favorite things when Lotus kind of speaks up for herself in some of the earlier chapters. It really sets a tone for how Silas is going to change and what is actually happening between them. So it was a lot more careful planning with him, because otherwise going from someone who was just like, oh my gosh, who are you, to oh my god, who are you? It's gentle.
Yeah. Well, and as somebody who's out there to try to help younger vampires, and she's maybe not a younger vampire, but she was one who clearly didn't have help in her transition. And I think he's used to recognizing that in people. Otherwise, he wouldn't have a center. So speaking of the center, is there a story behind how you named it Little Wing?
No.
No?
Surprise, no. So Little Wing, I thought of like, what is a name that I could have for a community center? And by the way, that was not the plan for the title of this book. It just kind of happened. But the reason Little Wing is I was thinking of a cute little bat. I was thinking of a cute bat. I'm just like, okay, Little Wing, kind of like a big brother, big sister type of situation, thinking of community centers, thinking of a inclusive space for people. So that's kind of where, if you've seen any of my marketing, sometimes you see the bat with the sunset in the background. That is the logo of the community center of Little Wing. And
So pretty. I love it.
thank you. And it hit me that Little Wing, the community center, has been at the center of the story of something Silas is working towards, something that Lotus recognizes as well, and something that this town really, really needs. So that's kind of how we ended up with our good old Little Wing. But I think it was just me trying on different names and word combinations to see what fit. And then I think I was driving one day and I called my dad. I'm like, hey, I think I figured out the title of my book. He's like, what? I'm like, Little Wing. He's like, oh. Fun fact, every time I try to say Little Wing and I add captions, it says Lil Wayne. But no, it's Little Wing. Wing.
Oh, that's fun. And that's so fun that you had someone that you had to call and tell right away when you knew it. That's neat.
Absolutely.
When you were starting to come up with the side characters, because I love Mateo, um, I like what he brings to it, and I cannot for the life of me remember his person's name. It's not a
Quinn.
wife. It's not it's significant other. But what's her name?
Quinn?
Gwen. Gwen.
Quinn?
Quinn.
Like,
Oh, Quinn.
yeah.
Yes. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm horrible with names. But I love what they bring to it because you don't have necessarily just the rubber stamping go on. You have a little bit of conflict there, which is kind of fun. And then you have, of course, Lotus's people, and they are just fantastic. I love reading about them and all of their support of her and how fiercely they support her and love her. And despite her makeup, despite her quirks, they're like, no, 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 you're ours. We've claimed you. That's it. But how did the side characters come to be? Were they inspired by someone? Were they just people who came to you? How did you get to the fun side characters? Because honestly, I love side characters. They're
Oh, thank you.
probably always my
Right?
favorites.
For me, it was important to have, obviously, you have the story between Lotus and Silas. We
Mhm,
know that's going to be the main thing that we're going to look at. But they're
mhm,
not existing alone in this universe. This story is not two-dimensional here. And Lotus needed people that she could rely on, that she found normalcy with. She just has friends that she hangs out with. Um, Raina is her manager and bestie who works at the Black Cat Scribes bookshop. She is so quirky and spicy, and I put a little bit of myself in her, I will tell you that, because she is short and I am 5'1". So I am always in, I always joke that I have my like Polish Slavic fire. If no one messes with my friends, no one messes with my family. So that's kind of where Reina's fire comes from. Hi, it's me. I I love her. She's very out there. I think I might have made a post earlier where it's like, hey, if you ever need a dating app recommendation, Raina's going through all of them. All of them. And it's so silly. But I needed someone who was very out there and upbeat and different than Lotus. Someone who is going to be totally fine with how reserved she is, but also someone who's going to poke fun at her in a fun way. Because they already have history. And that was really important to me. I wanted side characters that already had history, that we are not starting off fresh with people meeting each other for the first time, but people who have already developed a family together where they're at. And so that's Raina. She's super fun. And Kate is another of the besties in this trio, and she is the manager and head bartender at the Royal Nomad, which is a primarily human bar, but because of the good old treaties, every single bar is required to have something for vampires. And Lotus just started going there after her shifts at the Black Cat Scribes. She just kind of sat there and people watched. Just wanted to feel part of the crowd without really interacting. And after doing that a couple of times, Kate noticed her. Kate has an eye for vampires. She knows. She can clock you real fast. And she just put down a bottle of Crimson, which is the vampire beverage that they can have that is very similar to other beverages that you can get at bars. And they just became friends. After that, it became a every night thing. After her shift, they would be together. And then Raina joined the party and the trio formed. So her having this place, this family to fall back on and feel normal with, that's all she could have asked for.
Absolutely. I think it's an excellent dichotomy between her and the friends, and she needed somebody that was going to pull her out of her shell a little bit. And oh, thanks, Rose. Thanks for dropping by. So it was nice to have, the outgoing, the reserved, and seeing how they interact. Whether it's in the bookstore, whether it's, in a more social setting. But I love side characters. They're just always they're always so quirky and fun, and they always help, the main character see things a little bit differently, and
Oh yeah.
and they absolutely deliver. Um, all right, so I'm checking my list here. So when you started writing the series, was there a message that you wanted to convey with your book? Is there something you wanted people to get that message as you were writing or as they were reading your just Little Wing to begin with?
Mm-hmm. Yes. With Little Wing, this is definitely a story. It's not super happy for a good chunk of it because we're dealing with characters that have a history of trauma, of things that they're just dealing with. And what was really important to me was found family because I firmly believe that if you have to break contact with people, if you're not jiving with the people in your own circle, blood related family, found family is just as valid. And for this book to have a character who is tied to their family member in a eternal way, being able to find that found family, this group of people who love you just as you are without having to change anything, that was really important to me because I feel like so many of us, as we're getting older, we, at least for me, living up to the expectations of other people is not really living authentically to me. So I wanted to write something that says you are perfect as you are with all your quirks and flaws and everything, and the right people will find you. If the people who are closest to you, that are blood related to you, if they cannot accept you as you are, there are people out there who will love you just as you are. And that was really important to me. That was the character connection. But also what's important to me in Little Wing and then also going into the series is looking at things surface level and digging in deeper at the core of what this world is. And just acceptance really being the main thing that I wanted to for people to take away from. And I mean, some of the comments that I've gotten from ARC readers so far of people connecting with the characters and the quotes that they've come across that really spoke to them or feeling less alone. I never expected people to bring that up to me. And I mean, I found myself crying writing some of these chapters and rereading them going, oh my God, I forgot I left this in. So it's emotion is trying to, while this is a vampire story, this is a paranormal romance. This isn't a contemporary romance. There are some fantastical things that happen here that you're not going to see in our world, but being able to have that paranormal aspect of it while grounding it in very real feelings and situations, that's what I wanted people to have, that little bit of fantastical escape while also tackling on these situations that can be very real. So sometimes I think pairing it with a fantasy aspect or paranormal aspect helps us process some things that my characters are trying to work through, and they can be quite relatable too.
Absolutely. Well, it looks like you have a bookstore that might be interested in stocking. So make sure you
Thank
contact
you.
Ronnie. She is
Yeah, for
fantastic.
sure. If you want to DM me or if you have a contact, I'll be more than happy to speak to you.
Absolutely. Um, it's a beautiful message. It really is, and it's one that I think is very universal. And whether they're vampires or shifters or um, anyone that you would see in any romance, I mean, it certainly is one that speaks to a lot of us. Um, and that we write too. It's certainly one that I always write. I love found families.
Exactly. I think that's why I
It's
connect so much with your books too. I'm like, oh my gosh, they're just all together now.
Yeah, and then you want to be their family too. It's
Oh,
like, yeah, let's
absolutely.
just join in. So I mean, that's what the readers can do. You can be part of that world. So
Exactly.
it's certainly, and it's a little bit of an escape. There's certainly some trigger warnings.
Hmm.
For anyone who has just recently joined, we're here with Olga talking about her book, Little Wing, that is coming out August 11th. So we're just talking about some themes that are in that book and going back, some of the tropes. I mean, certainly you're going to find things like coming out of hiding, trying to find acceptance, surviving a troubled past, overcoming that past, and really finding out that you can thrive despite what's happened. So, all of those things are super important for all of us to read. And even with an escape, we still need things to make us feel all warm and fuzzy inside. And certainly this will do that. So let's go a little bit into, you've done these things for other people. You've written these found family. You've written this acceptance in there. So what does publishing Little Wing mean to you?
Polishing Little Wing means that I finally am doing the thing that I've always wanted to do. My writing journey started when I was in kindergarten in Poland before I could even read and write. And storytelling has always been so important to me. And that's why I got into video games, especially character driven role play games. I love them. And being able to follow a story and become this character and write. But for me, I'm doing this for little Olga, who always wanted to have a book out there, and for people who have read my work before and enjoyed it and asked me if I was ever going to write a book. I said, girl, what? Like, what are you talking about? But for me, it's taking a chance on myself because I don't know. When I hit 30, I'm like, you know what? It's time for me to be exactly who I'm meant to be. And if people don't vibe with it, it's fine. But I found a lot of community and kinship with a lot of the indie community here, and I'm thankful for all of you who are here. I see you, Lorraine. Thank you so much. Just being able to get my story out. For me, it's not about money. It's not about bestsellers or anything. I just want to share stories, and this one specifically, I wanted to write it for Lotus because I've loved this character for so long, and because life happened, I never finished her original story. And I said, you know what? I finished the legacy. You deserve to have your story told in a way that I think is going to be just how what it's supposed to be. And this is it. This is a story she was meant to have. That was hella dark. This is fun. This is still has a little bit of darkness in it, of course. But she gets to laugh. She gets to feel and be loved. And I think ultimately that's everything that we all want. A character that feels like they are too broken to be loved when they are not. And the right person will see you and take you in and hold you up when you're feeling down. And that's why I Little Wing to be the first book that I'm going to officially publish, and for me is to say I did it. I did it. And the reason it's also coming out on August 11th is because it's my birthday. And I don't like birthdays. I really don't. It for me it's not an age thing. I don't like attention, which it's pretty weird that I'm publishing a book.
Yeah.
The fact that I post videos every day, but I just feel so authentically me when I'm on here. I don't have a higher pitched voice like I have for customer service. It's I feel so at peace with what I'm doing with this book and this story and that it's coming out, and I'm nervous, but it's the excited nerves, or I'm just like, oh my god, can I just like push publish now and just get it out there? But it's all fun. It's all fun. So that's kind of why we're here. And to me, it's just being true to myself and doing something that I've always dreamed of and saying, you know what, now is the time. This is your time. Do it. What's stopping you? Nothing. Nothing. And yes, Jeffrey, I will send you a page to read. I have one picked out. Finally.
It's hard. It's hard to pick a page.
Oh
It
my
really
gosh,
is.
right?
It is. It is. Oh my goodness.
Go.
That's exciting. So, and as you're writing and you're doing these amazing things with your characters, and when your readers walk away after they close the book, after they've read the whole thing and they close it, what are you hoping that they take away?
Well, I am hoping that they're going to be excited for book 2, because in the published copy, you will have a chapter sneak peek of the second book, which is very exciting. Whether or not it's going to be the final, who knows? But we'll get there when we get there. But what I want people to kind of get from this is Lotus made it. Like that's not a spoiler. That's a guaranteed happily ever after. They are going to be okay. But what I really want people to remember is no matter how dark it can get, we are going to make it to that light. And it can be a little more turbulent than we expect it, but we're going to be there because there is support. It may not be family. It may be your found family. It may be your friends who become your found family. And you're not alone. You are absolutely not alone. The next day will come, and there's going to be someone out there to hold their hand out and keep the journey going. And it was very important to me to write this, the epilogue especially. This is not one where there's, oh my god, they're gonna get married and have babies. Sorry, the vampires don't have babies in here. It just does not work like that. And their day, when it finishes off, they keep going. It's not so much the end, it's we're gonna go off and enjoy our time together, and we'll see where that path will lead us.
Absolutely. The happily ever afters have all sorts of different ways of making that happen. So yours was very satisfying. I was very happy with how we got to see a little sneak into the future. So that was fun. So now is there anything else just about Little Wing that you want to talk about before we hop into kind of what we're looking toward in the series?
Sure. Just where you can find it, as we mentioned at the top of this, all of the LINKs are in my bio, but just to state it out here, this is going to be out again on August 11th. It will be part of KU, so it's super easy for you to enjoy. It will be on paperback on the Zon. It's also available currently for pre-order on Barnes & Noble and Ingram Spark, and the Ingram Spark copies are part of the book bundles that you can get on my Etsy page, and I wrap them up all nice, get little sleeves in there. I have some character art that is going to be included. This is one of my favorite moments hold on. There you go. One of my favorite moments in the book.
Yes.
Fun fact, I had my friend help me out with that, and by that I mean, hey, can you I asked my husband first, can you kneel down by the kitchen counter? And he said, why? I said, "Ugh, never mind." Then my best friend came over. I'm like, hey, can you kneel down at the counter? No questions asked, bad knees, gets down on her knees. I'm like, perfect. That's the perfect height. This works. Thank you. So I always tell her, I'm like, anytime someone sees that, I'm going to mention I have my bestie help out with the logistics of said scene. But with that, there's also, of course, some bookmarks, and they have the characters on there. Oh, hold on. We got the puzzle piece. There we go.
Her bundles are beautiful, by the way. They're
Thank
beautiful,
you.
and her boxes are too.
I have been working on them since last year. I have been gathering things in preparation for this because I'm one of those people that will have anxiety. I do have anxiety, so I've had a lot prepped for a good portion of this year, just anticipating this. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I wrap them all up by hand. I made all these in Canva. I cut my stickers. It's a lot of fun. It really is. But for me, the reason I actually decided to do the book bundles and the reason I started, obviously being indie, we pay for every single thing. Every single thing. So it's a lot. But for me, with this being my debut, I really wanted to celebrate it, even if just for myself, because for me, I'm a sucker for book bundles. So if I see like an indie author is like, hey, I have character art, add to cart. Bookmarks, add to cart immediately. For me, I love supporting indie authors and just art, anything, swag. Yep, in my cart, let's go. So for me, it's that kind of mentality. I'm like, what would I want to see out there with my book? I'm like, book bundle, absolutely. Was it a learning curve wrapping up those books? There have been plenty of tissue paper that has been tossed, and I just had to walk away. I'm like, you know what? We're not doing this today. Nope, everything is going to be bad today. But now I've gotten a lot faster, which is pretty cool. I'm like, look at you, go just get the folds, put the thing in there, and you're good to go. So that is still available. I do have limited stock, but I do have that. And with Little Wing, if you are in the Tennessee area around November, I'm actually going to be attending the Fantasy Forge Book Con in Pigeon Forge. LIC or common, because yes, there is indeed a wax seal of a little bat that I have on my thank you cards. So I personalize all the cards. They're all written to you. They're also signed. So there's all that. But with the BookCon, I will be an attending author there. So it's November 8th. Again, all the LINK stuff is in the BIO. I have all that linked there. The Enemies to Lovers Ball tickets are now out. So I'll be purchasing mine so I can join in on all the fun. But I am going to have my copies of Little Wing. I'm also working on some extra little goodies. So for anyone who has mentioned they really like the idea of Black Cat Scribes as some sort of merch, I am working on that, so we shall see. You know me, if you see me on a Dob, I will probably be keeping you up to date on all that. Whether it's a shirt, whether it's a tote, or something else, I don't know, but it's in progress. So that is Little Wing.
Oh, that's so fun. That's so fun. All right. So, for anyone that's joining us, Olga Ziminska is here telling us about her debut novel. And now we're going to start transitioning into, now we know that this is a series. There are 3 in the series. So what would you like to tell us about the upcoming books?
Well, first of all, this was not planned to be a series. Little Wing was supposed to be a 1-book standalone.
Never gonna happen.
Never. And Brooklyn kept saying that. She's like, okay. It's a standalone. Okay. I'm like, no, you stop that. It's a standalone. Okay. And then I text her one day. I'm like, it's a series. Well, originally they can still very much be enjoyed as standalones. They are still very separate characters, but it just like any other interconnected books, you start hearing about these characters and you're like, they're a little saucy. I like them. Where can I read more? Well, good for you. There's only going to be 3 books, but they are they're fun. They're fun, they're darker. The name of the series is Shades of Fairhaven, which kind of alludes to it gets a little bit darker with every book. And the way that I like to think of this series is like a iceberg. So at the top we have Little Wing because we have this moment of we're just landing in Fairhaven and we're kind of observing this situation that happens with Lotus and Silas and learning a little bit more about the history. Towards the end of the book, you'll start learning a little bit more about the treaty. You'll start learning more about the vampires in this. You'll meet some characters, and I will say this, every single character and romantic interest that you're going to meet, they're not going to be a, hey, I'm meeting you for the first time, with the exception of Little Wing, because Silas just kind of shows up. And the next 2 books that are in the series are going to be following the other females in Little Wing. So book 2, wow, you guys are going to be hearing it here for the first time because I'm just that nice. Book 1 obviously is Lotus. Book 2 is going to be following Raina. And book 3 is going to be following Kate. And that is going to be my sapphic novel, which I am so excited about. She is like screaming in my head daily. I have a notebook with me all the time because she's like, hey, I like this. Hey, I really want to do this. I'm like, oh my God, okay, hold on. Let me, like, I gotta work. So it's exciting. I wanted to write something that dives in a little bit deeper with each book because what we see right now with these side characters is how Lotus sees them, how she knows them, and how they interact with her. However, the way that just like an iceberg, you have your public self, your private self, and your secret self. And with each book, the more we dive into these characters, we find out more about their past. We find out what conflicts they are dealing with, who they are in their own apartment, what's in their apartment that really makes them who they are. So the second book is, yes, it is going to be darker. If you like, my Etsy shop is in my link tree, just FYI, but it is just my name. So Olga Ziminska or author Olga Ziminska. You can find me on there real easy. I only have 1 listing, so it's super simple. But basically what this series is, especially book 2, if you like a little bit of a crime aspect to some things, I think you're really going to enjoy this. And I'm having a really awesome time editing it right now because it's written, it's done. Done. Going through edits right now. There's plenty of changes that are going to be happening, but it's wonderful. I'm discovering a lot about these characters and how much I like writing something that's a little bit more intense. Is there a motorcycle chase? Yeah. Yeah, there is.
Fun.
Is there crime? Yeah, there is. We have what I call him moody, not quite, but an MMC with also quite a past. So while Little Wing is 2 vampires,
Yes.
the second book is going to be obviously our human FMC and a vampire MMC. Not quite as old as Lotus and Silas, but he has his own history that he's bringing into it, and he has his own things that you're going to be dealing with. And what happens of these 2 people having their own conflicts? What happens when they come together? What happens when a conflict overlaps? So, ooh, it's a lot of fun. And book 3 Book three is going to be following our dear Kate. As I mentioned, it is going to be a sapphic novel, and it follows the events of book two. So all of them, again, can be enjoyed individually, but I think you're going to get the most if you read them in order and you read all of them. Because you get to see the evolution of all these characters. And remember how I mentioned that Lotus and Silas are going to be part of this? They are in it from start to finish. And mainly I thought that maybe I'm just going to push them to the side a little bit. Let them have their happily ever after and just kind of let them do their thing. And it'll occasionally come up like a cameo. And then I realized, ooh, Lotus has more to say. Lotus in book two, I think, is my favorite. Because we already see them a little bit later. Yeah, she can be a little snippy too. And I'm proud of her for that. Maybe her friends rubbed off on her. I don't know. But it's a lot of fun. Absolutely, absolutely. And does book two have a title? Yes. And is it going to be announced in the book? Yes. So literally yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's right here on the last page. It's like, keep reading for a sneak peek at the first chapter from Redacted, the next book in the Shades of Fairy series.
You're just teasing me now.
Oh, yes. I gotta tease you guys a little bit here, but have I almost said the name multiple times? Yeah, absolutely. Because every morning I'm like, I'm working on book two edits. Yeah, that's what we're working on right now, book two. But literally the moment Little Wing is out, we're going to just be kind of vibing and enjoying, and I'll be in the corner editing still. I'm like, yes, it's out. Now I can keep going so then I can talk about it. So it won't be too long before I publicly announce the title of book two. I'm really excited. I don't know what it is about this book, but I think it's just so different and this different perspective of these characters. And I really, really wanted Silas to use the line, "Where is my wife?" Only for someone to say, "She's not your wife." Because she's not. You'll find out. But that was one of my key things. I'm like, Silas needs a line he's very like, that's my woman and I need her with me. So I'm super excited for that. And book three is, it's going to be the darkest book, but it's the book that is going to tie everything. And I 100% guarantee there will be a happily ever after. And that's going to be for every single character. I think the only one in the series that has a maybe happily ever after for now is book two. But does everything get tied up in book three? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Are they all gonna have spice in it? Absolutely. I love writing it. It's so fun.
That's so wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
It's so fun. It's so fun. And I love hearing you talk about it. You're just so excited, and that's so much fun.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. It's fun to talk about it because even to my husband, he's still working through Little Wing. I'll give him some time, but I love the comments he makes sometimes. He'll like close the book. He's like, "That was really hot." I said, "Thank you." I appreciate that. Keep reading. It's not over yet.
Yeah.
So it is a lot of fun, and it's just really nice to have his support on it too, because I know that's not his genre. He likes more like legal thrillers than anything else. So I'm like,
some of that in there.
Exactly. That's why I'm like, I think you're really gonna enjoy book two because there's a lot more of that. There's a lot more of that, but it's super fun to write because it's different. It's different than Little Wing, and that's not a bad thing. It's literally a different side of this town because I mean, how often do you see a little small town and you're like, there's something weird happening on there, but I'm not gonna look into that just yet. But something shady, and there is. So you'll find out more about that.
Oh, that sounds so much fun. Oh, it sounds like you have a lot of people that are super excited to get their hands on it.
Thank you so much. I really never expected more people than like Brooklyn and other people to want to read it. And do I like sweat every time I post a promo? Oh my god, yeah, every single time. I'm sweating, okay? but
You're doing great.
but I'm so excited because when I sent out the arcs for the first time, I mean, being a debut author, I I worked with a very small team. I had my dear friend Heather, who was one of my beta readers. She was like the beta reader, really. I've had some friends and family read it, and her feedback, the time that she has spent with me, yeah, Heather, if you are there, you are such a huge part of this for me. We've spent like 11 hours on the phone going through all the drafts, chapter by chapter, and the amount of time that she has shared with me for this book, I'm so grateful. And just sharing more about the book and hearing people like Margaret, thank you, Margaret, just feedback on the book and the promos, and oh, my heart is so full. And ultimately that's why I'm so grateful for this experience. The moment those arcs sent out, I was like, I need to bury my face in a pillow. I'm so scared right now. And getting messages from people that they're like, I'm like 40% in and I can't stop reading. I fell asleep with my Kindle on my face. Like stuff like that. I never imagined that anyone would connect with these little vampires the way that I've connected with them. And I think that's just the beauty of storytelling, is getting to see what is going to resonate with people. Perhaps it's something that you intended, perhaps it's something different. And Ashley, I have to shine a little light on you because I your your feedback has been so incredible. And you're the reason why I'm signing my books a particular way. And that is why it's in my dedication. It is one of the most, I didn't think it was going to be such a big line, but I've had multiple people bring it up to me, and Ashley being one of them, is your you is beautiful. And that's such a big thing that I would really hope that people take from this book, is you are perfect as you are, with your quirks and your flaws and your special interests. And absolutely, Ashley, that is why I made that decision. When you sent me that message, I broke down in tears. Because again, I wrote it. Oh, Kason, don't cry.
Oh.
But right, I sobbed through a lot of the feedback that I've gotten, and it's because I never expected people to connect with it in such a way. Some of the chapters I wrote, you would get a message and they're like, I'm just sobbing in the car right now, listening to, like, reading this right now. And it means a lot, because again, that's why I write. I don't write for money. I don't write for a bestseller. I don't write to get picked up traditionally. That's never the goal for me. My goal is for me to share my stories, because these characters are so damn loud. I need to get them out. Okay?
Yep.
And that, again, that's why it became a series, because Reina was very loud. Imagine, I am walking on my walking pad at my lunch break, editing my videos, and imagine this like 5 foot nothing woman with these beautiful lavender curls going, hey, I have stuff to say. What do you mean you have stuff to say? You have Little Wings. She's like, no, I want my own book. Okay, then that's how we have 3. Kate was a little bit easier to get on board, but Raina was demanding. Kate said, "Okay, I suppose I can have my own book. I'll go with that." And now she's like, "Actually, I have some notes." So they're all very loud. They have their personalities, that's for sure, and I love them for it.
Yeah. We love them too.
Thank you. I can't wait for everyone else to meet them. Believe me, if I could just like teleport these books to you, I really could. But even like on Etsy, I'm like, all right, I'm ready to start printing shipping labels. And they're like, you can only do it for up to 3 days ahead. I'm like, fine, I'll do it next week, but they're all ready for you.
Oh, that's so much fun. All right, so the people who are on here want to support you. What is the best way to support you? All the ways. So being active on socials, sharing, posting, liking, commenting, doing all the things, right? What socials are you on?
I tried to be on all of them. I am obviously here on TikTok. I'm also on IG. I have a YouTube channel, which was primarily a food review and recipe review, subscription box review type of thing, but I have been incorporating my writing things because that's just my main focus right now. And there's some people who have reached out to me actually because they found my videos on there, which is pretty neat. I recently made a Facebook page for me, so it's just author Olga Ziminska. So yeah, Brooklyn, we could actually do the thing now.
That would be fun.
I've been prepping, so I'm on there. I'm also on Threads, so if you just want my unfiltered thoughts that aren't very aesthetic, I'm on there. And yeah, so I post every single day with the exception if the plague catches me. You know, that time in February, which is fun. But I post my dobs every single day, and just like every indie author will say, sharing our posts means a lot, adding it to your stories, commenting, interacting with the content, because every little bit of engagement can help push that content out to people who are really wanting to see it, who are looking for this type of book. If you have any indie bookshops who are taking local authors, keeping indie authors, not even necessarily just me, but any indie authors that you really vibe with and you really want more people to see their stories, contacting your indie bookshops, your libraries, I think is a really great way. And that is a free way to support indie authors like myself. And just overall engagement. I'm never going to be like, oh my God, please someone buy my book. No, that's why it's also on KU. So I try to make it as accessible as possible to people because I know, I mean, even with where we're at in the world right now, books are expensive. They are very expensive. And I tried to make it as easy to access as possible. So, and then if you do read it, of course, reviews, honest reviews, of course, always honest reviews are so important because it helps other people see it that, oh, well, people have some thoughts on this book. That's really cool. And that really does mean a lot to be able to have that. So I have my book on Storygraph and Goodreads and the Rainforest Distributor and Barnes and Noble. So all of those places are on there. So if you do check out Little Wing when it does come out, if you wouldn't mind leaving it a review, how you thought, what you thought of it, I would absolutely appreciate that and love that. So I can keep cranking out more books for you guys.
Absolutely. And I know someone had asked earlier in the live if you were considering audiobooks. I also know how expensive they are. I know ACX profit sharing is a possibility. Are you looking into that at this point? Or are you waiting on that? There's no judgment, but since the public wants to know, are you thinking about it?
Yes, I am. Am I ready for that right now? No. Do I have a couple of narrators I have an eye on? Yes, I do. I follow a lot of people, book talkers, indie authors, narrators, and I do watch a lot of those lives. It's an amazing craft to voice acting. I mean, you're bringing characters to life, and I think that's so beautiful. Um, whether I go, we'll see which direction I end up taking this in, but I know that this is not it. It's not over. Am I planning perhaps a hardcover edition, maybe for some sort of milestone of this book? Yes. Am I going, basically everything that I may potentially make off this book is going right back into the series because I want to make this as fun as possible, not only for me, but only also for you guys, because I also love audiobooks very much. And while I'm editing, while I am writing, that is how I consume the most. I would say traditionally published books, if they are available through Libby, because again, it's a lot of money sometimes, even for Audible, to just get that one credit. So support your local libraries, get Libby, and enjoy some audiobooks. But it is a lot of fun. So yes, is it in the immediate future? No, but we're going to give it some time. Let the book marinate a little bit. But that is definitely something I am looking into. It will be super cool to hear Lotus and Silas and kind of get their vibe for it. Did I consider recording my own audiobook? Yeah, I did. But I don't know. I think I just want to hear Lotus finally have her own voice because my voice gets tired trying to be her sometimes. She's very eloquent in the way that she speaks. That is just slightly different than other people speak. It used to be a lot different. She did not. She used contractions, so she's like, I do not believe in this, and she's very antiquated in the way that she speaks. But we made that change. But it'll be super cool to hear her. But especially because there's a little bit of accent work that would have to go into it for someone who occasionally slips into a British accent, occasionally slips into a Scottish accent. So you learn a little bit more about that too, but it's in progress. Very slowly, very surely, but it's happening.
There's a lot of behind the scenes work for an author in audiobooks as well. So it makes sense to go at it easily. You don't necessarily have to, like I said, there was no pressure, no judgment, but it's fun to know that since you are such a huge audiobook fan, I figured there was probably some ideas there, but it's incredibly expensive. And even if you do profit share, you have to audition people, find the right voice, and then you can only have one profit share if you still want to do dual narration. Like there's all the things. So it's fun to think that it's maybe coming someday, and I know you're working on it because you're just doing so much behind the scenes
Oh
and
yeah,
in
every
the prep
day. It
work.
does not stop. I work full time, so once my 8 to 5 ends, I'm on for my 5 to 10.
Yeah, yeah. All right, I'm looking at my list. All right, so we are supporting you by not just buying the book at the place. There's also Etsy. That's an option if you want the book bundle, the character art, all the fun goodies that come with it. There's also socials, and for any of you who are on any sort of group discussions or when people put up posts about, hey, who's your favorite indie author? If you're enjoying Olga's books, if you're enjoying other indie authors' books, shout them out because that kind of support cannot be cannot be achieved any other way. Readers want to hear from other readers, and hearing from a reader that they really enjoyed a book or really enjoyed characters or that the book spoke to them in some way certainly will help support her. So shout her out wherever you hear that somebody's looking for a book with these tropes, or they're looking for a great vampire romance, or whatever. Once you've read it and you know you love it, and share it wherever you can, and that kind of support definitely helps as well. So we're going to shower her with love on her release day, August 11th, guys. We're going to shower her with all the congratulations and the well wishes because it has been a long time coming.
Oh
Little
yeah.
Olga would be so proud of you, and I'm just so happy for you.
Thank
I just,
you.
oh, I
It's
can't
not
wait to
surreal.
celebrate with you.
It's very surreal, but you bring up a really good point about talking about indie authors and that readers want to hear from readers. We can crank out as many promos as we can, but there is going to be such incredible value in word of mouth marketing. And it doesn't even have to be on socials. You can say to your doctor or whatever, like, hey, I just read this book and the spicy scenes are really spicing in this one, and I think you'd really like it. There's always that, and again, this isn't just for me, but for any indie authors that you come across that you love. And if you have not read indie before, oh my gosh, do I implore you to check out indies. They are incredible. In the
Yes.
past year, I have read so many indie author books. I mean, Brooklyn series being one of them. Her book has me. I'm hooked. I need more. I need more, Brooklyn. So I can't wait
Right.
to check out more. And there's so many incredible stories that you would not otherwise find in a traditionally published space. They're so unique. They are so different. They are full of love, and boy, do you feel it. You will you will never come across a book that is AI generated. It will be soulless. But when you read an indie author book, you get to see a little piece of our heart and soul in every single page. And supporting the indie community, even if you talk about it, if you read it, if you give the book a chance, you are going to be making an indie author's entire month. I can guarantee you, because it really, really does mean a lot. We pour so much love and time, and so many of us are, if we are working full time or part time or just busy and doing things when we can find a little bit of quiet time, it's it's incredible, and I, for one, feel very honored to be part of this community. Going indie and self-publishing has to be the best decision I have made, and I'm really excited to see what's going to come after Little Wing, where the series will go, where the other books will come and fit into this sphere. But I regret nothing. I am so happy, and seeing that I am under 30 days now of this book being out, I don't think it has officially hit me yet. It'll probably be like, oh, it's coming out tomorrow. Oh, God.
Mhm.
So, but everything is ready on the back end, so we are ready to go, and that's just one less sigh of relief I have.
And you're taking the day off work, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm not working on my birthday and on my release. Because no, I really wish I would have taken the day off when I sent out my arcs too. 100% that's for next time, because I'm like, oh gosh, is everyone having trouble with the file? Is everyone okay? I'm like, oh, people are downloading. That's good. Okay. So for me, it's also a little bit of mental health care, and also celebrating, because I'll be celebrating the release of my debut novel, and I can't wait. And I will be live on that day doing what? I don't know, but perhaps there will be maybe a Shmiv or two or something, maybe with some book bundles, maybe. So keep an eye out for that. And I'll also be doing a reading of one or two chapters in the book, what I can read so I don't get bananaed off this platform. Just saying.
Or stilettoed off it, you know.
Right? Yeah, apparently that's a thing.
Well, if you want any company, let me know, and I can always hop on and say hi for a while and tell everyone how amazing you are for a while.
Oh, shucks, thank you. But may I take a moment to shine a light on you, Miss Brooklyn?
No, this
Yeah.
is all about you.
Nope, too bad. Too bad. So, with us talking about the indie community and everything, I really do want to say thank you to Brooklyn, one for interviewing me, for offering to hop on this live with me and to talk about this book. I mean, you've heard about this since before it was like a little inkling of an idea. And Brooklyn, you're just so inspiring to me because, I mean, you're cranking books out left and right, and they're so addictive. I can't put them down. I want to be in Taylor Ridge. So if you are looking for a romantic suspense motorcycle club spicy and adventurous series that is going to be finishing this year, by the way, guys, the Diablo series is fantastic. It's out on KU. I have been devouring every single book that comes out because they play out like an action movie in your head. Like, that's not even a joke. You watch an action movie with the romantic interest and the explosions. Whoa. And the spice is spicy, and I will tell you that much. It is very spicy, but it's like, yeah, you get it, girl. And on top of that, Brooklyn also does have a middle grade book called Bacon Bits that I read while I was on a bus in Poland because we were traveling. And I'm just like, this is so cute. I love it. And also a contemporary romance that is perfect. It doesn't matter what season it is. I'll Be Green for Christmas is also another delightful read. So I'm telling you, doing these indie author spotlights and being friends with Brooklyn, I've met so many incredible people, and I'm honored to call you my friend, Brooklyn. Really, so stinking honored. Because I look at your post-it notes every dang day. I'm like, I mean, I'll be looking at one soon and smiling because I have one that says you'll be a published author soon. And I look at that, I'm like, I will be. I will be. So it's this community that is so beautiful. And not once have I ever felt like I was in competition with anyone. I feel like I am among friends and family and people who just want to boost each other up. So that's right, Veronique. It is coming up. I'm so excited, so grateful, and so touched that you guys have come out to this live and you like and share my promos and you interact with it and you share your excitement, because doing this thing sometimes can feel very lonely, and we all go through those moments where it's just like, is this even worth it? And sometimes you need that person to say, yes, it is. Keep going. Take a break if you need it, but don't stop. You have a story and it deserves to be heard. So that's kind of out for anyone, whether you are already a published author or you are moving in that direction or considering if you should even sit down and write that story. I'm just going to tell you now, do it. What's the worst that could happen? You write a story that you fall in love with. You publish a story that other people fall in love with. People care about your characters. There is no greater feeling for me than sharing my love of these characters with you all. So, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Brooklyn. My heart is really full.
I'm so glad. And thank you for letting me be a part of it.
Of course. I wouldn't have had it any other way, I swear.
Yes. And thank you, Margaret. I'm so glad you read Bacon Bits. It's not very widely read because it's about third graders, but it's sweet. It's
so sweet.
It's a little bit different pace than, it's not going to be a motorcycle club or anything. It's the opposite spectrum. I wrote Bacon Bits for my son because he was reading so many books that were all dreary and dark and people dying and Charlotte's Web, and he needed something light, and not every minute of Bacon Bits can be light because there's difficulties in life. And part of that book, just as you've been talking about, Olga, part of that book was helping him work through that darkness. So yes, you see darkness in books. There's darkness in life, but learning how to overcome,
right,
and seeing the ways to overcome and banding together instead of pulling apart. So he needed to see the way to work through that instead of being drugged down into that mire. So, it's what we can do with our writing. We can help people overcome these obstacles in their lives that maybe they've been dealing with for years. Your story could maybe help someone who's been dealing with a toxic family member their whole life, and they need to figure out how to let go of that or how to separate themselves from that. Is it going to be identical? Of course not. They're not vampires.
Right.
But
Darn.
like at the same time though, maybe all they needed was to read that one book that reminded them that maybe in this extreme situation, they could find something in it to draw on personally and to decide that they need to move on with their life and find happiness. Books can do anything. They are these amazing portals that will take you places and lead you to help find the answers maybe that you've been looking for a long time. So
Absolutely.
yours will certainly do that for someone. I know it will.
Thank you. And yes, Kason, I can't wait for you to be besties with them too, because let me tell you, some of them are definitely down for it. You're absolutely right, Veronique. It's very there's a lot of our real life situations that can be plugged into fantasy scenarios where it could be one to make it relatable, to ground it in a way that we understand, and also in a way to deliver something that we may be dealing with in a way that is going to feel a little bit easier to digest and process. Where I think that's why fantasy movies and video games can be so healing for people, because you can find yourself in that story, inside that character's struggles, but presented in a way where it's gonna work out in the end. No matter what's happening right now, it's gonna work out. And that's really important for me. That's why I read a lot of contemporary romances, because oh my gosh, they're all the same. I know they're gonna end up happy. That's what matters to me, and I need that. And exactly. I'm like, I love reading that. I love being able to connect with these characters. I love knowing that they're struggling, because it makes them real to me, to everyone, really. But I'm just happy that they're going to be okay at the end, because that's what matters. So, kind of dark. It has its moments. It ends up okay. Book 2, darker, ends up okay too. Book 3, I'm sorry, even darker. But it ends up all good in the end for everyone, for every single person, with some key exceptions. But you'll be fine with those exceptions. You're absolutely fine with those. But yeah, I'm really excited, and it's just 18 days to go. I can't believe it.
You've got this.
I do. I feel it. Feel it in my bones, ready to go.
Oh, it's going to be so fun. I can't wait.
Yeah.
You're probably going to put out something about the day of and what to expect and fun stuff happening. And
Oh, yes. I am planning my 10-day countdown right now. So kind of how I did my 12 days of Little Wing when I was officially starting to talk about it more and more. I do have some things planned for the 10-day countdown for my promo, so they're going to be changing in about a week. And yeah, so for the day of, I'm 100% taking the day off from work. I'm going to be around, so I do plan on doing that live. I do want to have a shmiv of some variety, so I will keep you posted all on that. And in addition to that, that's going to be primarily it. I do have a book bundle that is part of a shmiv right now, of how are we calling it so we don't get bananaed? A waffle with an R right now. Kristen's Corner is having a waffle for some beautiful book bundles that have come in, and they are by genre. So those are going to be on there. And I'll go ahead and repost it and have it in my stories tonight. And I'll talk about it a little bit more tomorrow as well on my Dob. Because it is on there. It is a signed book bundle. It is exactly what you would get off Etsy. So for an opportunity to get that and some other incredible books part of that category, I do believe tickets are still being sold for that. So that's another opportunity. That's kind of where I'm at as well. And yeah, other than that, I will be here on release day. I will be around. I will not be hiding, I swear. And then the other opportunity is in November to see me in person. The Etsy book bundles are going to be available as long as I have stock, and then I will be replenishing that for the book convention this November. So an opportunity to see me in person and see how short I actually am.
Well, I was going to offer to meet you on your release day if you wanted to. We could meet somewhere in the middle and do a live together.
We'll definitely have to discuss that. I'll see what else we have planned, because sometimes Andy likes to.
That's fine.
I don't even know.
It's just an option, or that weekend if you wanted to do a,
Regardless, we have to meet anyway, because I'm just like, I need to pick your brain. I need to go drive down that road. See what.
Yes, you're welcome. I will drive you down that road. There's circles on both sides. It's real easy to just keep looping. It is. So.
Keep the inspiration going, that's for sure. I would love that very much.
Anytime.
Mm-hmm.
I have grandparents now to watch my kiddo, so I'm all good.
There you go, even better.
I mean, he's going to want to see you at least, a little bit, but,
Of course, how could I not? He is a very, very special part of the Dobbs, too. So I do these Dobbs, and sometimes I wonder, I'm like, do I just stop doing them? I'm like, no, I can't. I can't.
No, you can't. I'll have to text you every morning and ask you what you're wearing. Like, this is not going to work. You have to, I need to know now.
That's a reason.
Well, sometimes you
might, yeah, exactly. Do I wear?
Sometimes you throw jeans in there, and then I'm like, wait a minute, who are you?
Exactly. If you're looking for one reason to watch my Dobbs is to see if I'm wearing something other than yoga pants. It happens, and I don't announce it sometimes. I'm like, oh look, jeans. Oh look, I actually kind of dressed up.
Oh yeah, sometimes you're wearing that skirt and that belt that's so cool. Yeah, like it's a thing.
Sometimes it's a little bit of a jazz. And do I take off the belt after the Dobbs sometimes? Yeah, I'm sitting down for work. No one gets to see it. At least you guys do. You guys give me an opportunity to dress up like a little bit. I'm like, well, here's a fun shirt. Fun fact, I do get fun shirts for you guys specifically.
Well, we love them.
Thank you.
Once in a while, we're wearing the same yellow, well, not the same yellow shirt, but we're wearing yellow on the same days sometimes.
Oh, I love
I have my little heart hands, my little skeleton heart hands I wear.
I love that shirt every time you have it on. It's so dang cute.
It really is. I have to find more like it. I don't know. I need new Halloween stock. I don't know.
Now's the time. It's starting now. They started early. Earlier and earlier every year. I'm telling you that much.
Well, there's a lot of people that like spooky stuff all year long.
Yep.
Wink, wink.
Yep. Do I go? I'm like, oh, are you shopping for Halloween? I'm like, no, general home decor. That's what you'll usually find in my house. It's pretty concentrated into my office right now, but I'm very slowly just getting it out into the rest of the house. And my husband will be like, what is that? I'm like, the skull stays, okay?
Just don't question it. Just don't question
it.
It just needs to be there.
Why are there so many bats? Just fine. It's fine. It's a crocheted bat, okay? It's adorable.
Oh, that's so fun.
I'm so excited. I'm feeling real good. I'm feeling really excited. So
Nice.
for anyone, if you've missed even a second of this, I will have this entire interview uploaded to my YouTube channel. It is in the link in my bio, and I'll also bring it up tomorrow. I will likely have it linked in my stories, so all of that once all the rendering and the thumbnails and all that is done, I'll make sure that you guys know exactly where to find it in case you want to rewatch it or anything of that sort. Share it. Be like, look at this gal. You are more than welcome to. And yeah, so and same thing. Even after this live, if you have any questions for me, about the story, about the series, about where you can find stuff, or if you even have general questions. I am by no means a professional, but I have enjoyed my hurdles and my frustrations with programs very much, and even Barnes and Noble, I've had to contact them. I'm like, you guys are making my life difficult right now. And they're like, actually, you're making your own life difficult, but I'm not, I swear. So that's kind of where we're at with that. So if you ever have any questions about that, you're welcome to ask. I don't believe in gatekeeping information. This is a community and we are here to help each other, and that's always that's what really convinced me to go in this direction, is because I've never come across anyone who's like, I'm not going to tell you anything about how I did something. Meanwhile, Sweet Brooklyn is like, hey, can you like reach out? Like, you need help? I'm like, I'm losing my mind right now. I'm like, have you tried this button? I'm like, I'm going to exit the computer and this day. So it's silly little things that what we may be trying to figure out this entire time, it changes, and we're happy to help because I can guarantee you're not the only one who had this issue.
No.
So we're all kind of there. But hi, Melanie, welcome on in. We are coming close to the end of our interview, talking about my debut novel that's coming out in August. But yeah, if anyone has any additional questions, I'm here. So feel free to ask or reach out afterwards. I'll be around. I'll probably be editing after this and eating some dinner, but that's the plan for tonight.
Yeah, it was so fun to hang out with you.
I
Always
cannot
good to
agree
talk
more.
to
I'm
you.
again so grateful that you offered to do this. It really does mean a lot because you know me, I'm not one of those people like, hey, who wants to hop on a live with me? I'm like, I'm just here and doing my own thing, and if there's an opportunity, I'll hop on. So really means a lot. Thanks for getting me out of my little shell here, which, seeing me and my dops, you probably may not think it, but I do keep to myself too a lot. quite a bit. But just having you guys has probably been the most healing thing for my mental health, and I'm grateful for all of you. If we have crossed paths for a second or months or over a year, I treasure all of you so very much.
Oh, we treasure you too. You're amazing, and we're so glad. We're just so excited for you, but we're here. And if you want to ever do another live, I'm here and I'm happy to. And if you're bursting about book 2 and you want to spill some tea, I'm right here.
I'll
I'm
get
right
you
here.
for that, don't worry.
Yeah.
I'm almost ready to talk about it some more and almost ready to talk about it publicly, which is very exciting because I'm really excited for Little Wing to come out. I really am. But book 2, I'm like, no, I gotta talk about it because it's so fun.
It's so hard keeping the secrets. Nobody tells you how hard it is to keep the secrets. I know.
And that's what has been like, do I just press publish now and be like, surprise, it's out early? I'm like, no, they just stick to your schedule.
I schedule mine. Like, I don't know how you could just I don't know. Maybe other ones do it differently, but
I would
I have it scheduled ahead of time, so it's not even a thing. Like, I don't get to do it early. It just goes.
Nope, exactly. And then the fun thing with Amazon was like, oh, your scheduled release, like, we can only do 60 days ahead. So every couple of months, I'm like, okay, I gotta push it up again. I'm like, okay, now we're officially on August 11th. We're good. It's clear. I don't have to touch it anymore.
Yes, it's just there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What a journey. But I think that's a good topic for for another live is going through the publishing the journey, because there's a lot of steps that you take into this, that
Oh yeah.
going do self-publishing is truly a probably I'm really glad that I went down this route. I learned a lot. I learned a lot. So much. Am I still learning? Yeah. There's so much to learn. But that's the exciting thing. The more books you release, the more you're going to be changing some stuff and figuring out other ways to meet the goal you're aiming towards. So it's a lot of fun, but it no is it for the faint of heart? Probably not. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of stress sometimes, but again, find people that you vibe with, that you can confide in, and feel less alone in this, because you are absolutely not alone. 100% guaranteed. If you are struggling with something relating to publishing or writing, you are not alone. We have all been there at any stage of writing. Any stage, truly.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we don't gatekeep, and we don't tell people we won't help them. It's, we have to determine you from a scammer sometimes. But once we do that, we're good to go.
Oh yeah, the joys of social media and being out in the world. But
Yeah.
absolutely, and if I don't respond right away, it's nothing against you. Sometimes my notifications get lost.
They get lost, or things get busy. I mean, life happens. So, we'll certainly do our best to get back when we can. But, if it's an emergency, look for someone else to answer the question quicker. So that happens too. But,
And there's an entire community of us that will be so, so happy to help.
absolutely. And just to lift you up on days that things feel hard. I mean, sometimes getting over that hurdle is way harder than
Sitting
what
down
button
and
do you
writing.
click when you get into here. Really.
Exactly.
Remembering your why, remembering why you started writing in the first place, because when you look at marketing, it looks scary, it looks hopeless, it's defeatist, but you remember why you started writing and you're like, wait a minute, none of that matters. It's all I want to do is write. So, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, it has been an absolute pleasure to hang out with you, and I'm so excited for your release, and I can't wait to hear more about the next one, because see, I already got to read the first one, so I'm
That's right.
confident a bit for the next one.
Awesome. Well, thank you
Whatever
so
you
much.
need, dear, I am here for you.
I really appreciate that. And again, thank you so much for hopping on and chatting with me and asking questions, and just really appreciate you. So, and yet for everyone who has tuned in, I can't wait for the book to be out, and I can't wait for all of you to learn a little bit more about all these fun vampires. So, Margaret, I'm so excited. I cannot wait to share with you. But thanks everyone for hanging out. As always, remember you are awesome and loved and valued, and I'm so happy that you're all here. And we'll see you next time. We'll see you Exactly. We'll see you tomorrow for another job.
Yep,
Take care,
absolutely.
everyone. Thank you so much, and we'll see you later. Bye.